Hello, my dear gardeners. The blooms continue in my garden. It's a nice, beautiful morning. We didn't have rain for some time, so I think after this video I'm going to water. Look at my Olivia Austin. Let's go and check her out. She's in the height of her blossoms. Last year I paired this Olivia Austin, which was really half its size. I paired it with this agastache. And I mean, it's not blooming yet. There are, how many bushes are there? There are two of them. One did not survive this winter. So, you know, agastache blooms much later, and it is reaching here the height, probably this height. And last year it totally overpowered Olivia Austin. But look at this. This year, Olivia Austin is 5 feet tall, pushing blooms. And on the back here, my penstemon, it's getting, again, it was much taller last year in comparison with Olivia Austin, but now it looks really small, right? But although it's going to reach the same height here, it has a very bushy neighbor. We have a lot of raspberries this year. Look at all this happy growth. Oh, I love this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Everything loves. Oh, this is the wine. I will have to go in and take care of it later. But the harvest of raspberries is going to be gorgeous this year. Unfortunately, nobody is living in the house. What can you do? Let me show you. Let's go here and I will show you clematis. They open their eyes right here. And they love moisture too. Look at them. Oh, how wonderful they are, right? Putting their heads towards sun. And since the east is there, sun rises up, they are all putting their heads towards the sun. Wonderful things. They came to the house, 14 years ago? And 1 year I thought that these clematis died. They took a siesta for 1 year and then they started growing again. What a surprise. And now every year they show up here. Beautiful, beautiful. Another bloomer, and I can see it rise through this edge, you know how the garden path goes through, and you can see that rose. Adelaide Orleans. The first time of its blooming year. I can see she's going to be a very powerful rose. She's passing her prime. She's dropping already her flowers, her petals, which is nice too when she drops them. I think she will drop petals instead of keeping them on the stems, which I like that feature. Olivia Austin has a tendency to keep the petals on, and then they look unsightly, you know. And here we probably will have just a mess underneath the rose, but rose itself, oh yeah, will be nice and clean. Beautiful. So this is the first show of Adelaide Orleans. And you know what my plan is with this rose? To put some sort of a support all the way around this U. And Adelaide Orleans looks like she's creating a lot of long, super long stems, and put stems there around the house and maybe here. So rose can be here, the roots of the rose, but she can really go far, which is good. This corner is looking really great. Look how quickly ajuga is traveling. You see, I remember I was showing you ajuga in spring and it was just not as much at all. But look at it, it's all over. So keep that in mind if you want to introduce ajuga to your garden. It is a spreader, a great ground cover, honestly. It looks really good here between the stones, kind of to edge it. And last year I introduced it here as well. I think it's a nice little kind of ground cover here. Comfortable, you know. You walk down the path and it brings you to a beautiful crescendo. Olivia Austin, look how beautiful that site is. I really didn't plan it that way, it just happened and I take it because it's beautiful, right? You walk here between the hostas and you see that beautiful Olivia Austin is right there. Clematis came up, has a little bit of mites here. Look at these happy flowers. And you know, when you don't disturb clematis, clematis, depends which gardener calls it the way, they are very elegant. You know, they find their own ways to trail among the plants, and very gracefully they just hang down. Vanessa Bell. Vanessa Bell also looks like she is having a very good year. She has many blooms. She has a little misfortune to have a very powerful neighbor, my holly tree. So I'm thinking Vanessa will be struggling here, but this year is a good year for these beautiful blooms. Look at them. Gorgeous, aren't they? She has a light scent. A beautiful yellow color here, soft one. But the biggest surprise this year belongs to Peggy Martin rose. As you can see, my Lady of Shalott is finishing her blooms, so she will be nicely fertilized to help her. Oh, I don't want these petals to fall down on her foliage. Although Lady Shalott is good. Petals don't stay on the foliage, they fall nicely on the ground, which is lovely. All right, I will put it for now into the pot. My dear Lady of Shalott. All right, look at this. This is Peggy Martin. Oh, beautiful rose. Doesn't have a big scent. And somebody was asking me how old she is here. Well, she is 3 years old, I believe. First 2 years, she was not doing anything big in my garden. And now she does have pollinators. Look at the buggies going all over. And she is growing. You know, she is leaping now. The 3rd year, usually a good year for roses. And what I have to be very careful, look at this. A wonderful long stem she created right here at the base, which is very good. And this stem will go whichever way it wants. So I want to make sure that this stem is being trained on this side of my support, because I don't want any blossoms there. I want all the blossoms here, right? And the minute this guy is going to go higher, I'm going to train him around, and he's going to be long enough to go around. And Peggy Martin, next year, she's going to be even more beautiful. You know what? One more thing which I noticed about Peggy Martin. She started blooming, what, a week ago? So 6 days. She opened her blooms, and you know, at the beginning she was very small, but not a single petal she dropped, which is great because her blossoms are getting a little bit pale already, but she's not dropping a single. I see one, and that's all. All those petals, those are the generous gardener petals being blown away. And generous gardener, oh, she has a bug right here. Oh, the blooms are getting older. It's time to fertilize this beauty. She looks very healthy this year. No diseases. Generous gardener is a disease-resistant rose. I'm very happy with this plant here. Look at this little flower. It's my zinnia starting to bloom. It was last-minute decision what to put into this pot because I didn't have time in spring. So I put zinnias, and they're not trailing plants, they're upward-facing plants. So I was thinking, how is that going to be? But I think this corner will be doing very well with white flowers here. Oh, look at them. They have a lot of branches. Oh, they're going to be so happy here. Maybe in 2 weeks we will have a great performance here. And my sedums, staying in somewhat shady area, having reins of petals here from my generous gardener, and because of the shade they're starting to flop a little bit. Oh well, but I like them here. I like how they frame the entrance here between the generous gardener, you know, both sides. That's good. One more thing I want to show you. Come here. What do we have here? We have a good, interesting story here. We have here the path, which I made last year. Looks like it's a success. By the way, here's the video how I did it. And we always have issues here with needles. And needles are falling down, so you know this is a time when the tree is changing needles, and there is a big fall of needles right now. But you know what I noticed? A very interesting thing here. Look how my ajuga is traveling, right? So I planted this ajuga here last year, so this is how much space it conquered already. And look, she's traveling, and she's not unhappy from needles. So maybe I can do this ajuga here, and it will be a ground cover for my area here. This area looks kind of bare. I probably will be introducing ferns here. Again, I'm running behind. And because I was in Ukraine, I had some planks stored here to build a fence, because this area is always like a storage area for me. There's always something hanging here, so I want to build like a wattle fence here, somewhat decorative one, to hide this area and to have space for storage, because we don't have storage space in the garden. So my good folks, my husband and my sons, they decided to clean up, and they just cut all my wood. Oh well, I just have to find new wood and build a hedge here. Well, what can you do? All right, let's go look at New Dawn. New Dawn opened its beautiful stems. This is its first kind of blooming time. I think it's, it's 3 years old or 2 years old? 3 years old. And it's very skinny for me. I kind of want it bigger. But it has such long shoots, and very often on YouTube videos and on pictures I see how New Dawn just trails down. It's because of these long shoots. It's a surprising feature, you know, something new about New Dawn. Look at that. Those are clematis. They are blossoming here. I was thinking that because I treated clematis this year with all sorts of good stuff here, I shaded its roots, and I made sure I put the sweetener in the soil, meaning to raise up the pH of the soil, because clematis don't like sour soil, which we have here in Connecticut. And I thought this year they will be maybe more plentiful. But it is the same year. It's a charming presence here, because we have our beauty bush coming down at the end here. So it's a quiet corner, and clematis are just a beautiful thing. And you know, very often people think that they need a lot of color in the garden. No, you don't. You just need the color at a certain time. You need one performer in the garden, and then another performer comes, and then another. And garden is very good, unless you want to have a very exciting garden full of color. I don't think this is my choice. I like green gardens. So this clematis, it's just adorable thing right now here in this very green corner, right? What else is here? That's it. I gave my boxwoods the first serious haircut of their life, and they look good. Look at them. They both turn out to be the same shape. The only thing, this side is struggling, so I have a nice shape here, I think, right? A nice shape. Not too much. Oh, I didn't get this guy out. But that side is a little bit lower. So let's see how that goes. We had such a strong wind the other 2 days, I believe, that this thing got disconnected somehow from the pole. I have to raise it up. And one cane became dead here. You see this black one? Maybe because it swirls like that, this rose was able to be supported here. I have to figure out. No. I can do it right now. No, I cannot. All right, I will do it later. But look at this generous gardener. I trimmed the tree on top, and clearly generous gardener loves it. I have to come in and trim it. And of course, all the petals are falling on the grass. But it's totally delightful, isn't it? You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to go to the front of our house, because we are going to have the best, hydrangea season. There are so many blooms. but in order for them to have a good long season, we have to water them well. And we didn't have already the rain for a week, so I'm going to go and give them a nice soak, and they would be so happy about it. And honestly, I like watering. I like to go out in the morning and water my plants in the front. It's a beautiful experience, you know, especially when you come back after work and you're tired. Watering is a rejuvenating process. All right, my dear gardeners, I will see you in my next video, and happy gardening.